In the United States, Honda's biggest car market in the world, sales this year are down 41%. That's the worst year in Honda's history. Frankly, if I'm honest, logical, and just factual about this, I see no possible way out for Honda. Here is why I believe the company as we know it is basically on life support and will eventually go down as one of the biggest companies in history to be completely disrupted and have ignored the warning signs and chosen to do essentially nothing about them. Honda, they sell the most popular passenger car in the United States. They've just released details for their new model, brand new, and frankly, it gives me serious concern for this company. Why they're saying for 5 years at minimum, this will be their leading top-selling vehicle worldwide. Frankly, if that's true, my friends, Honda is in even more trouble than I previously thought. Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name's Sam Evans. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back everyone else. Thanks for tuning in. Great to have you. Honda's long-term debt is $34.3 billion. That though is a decrease of 19% from the same quarter last year. So realistically, if we compare the debt of Honda to a company like Toyota, they're looking pretty good, right? Only $34 billion in debt. And for context, Toyota has $220 billion of debt. But here is the big issue. The new Honda Accord is being built in a new factory, new processes, new products, new parts, new everything. It costs money to do that. In fact, it costs hundreds of millions of dollars, sometimes billions of dollars, to bring out a new product. They've been working for years on this new car, and it's just a hybrid and a gasoline-powered car. That's all Honda plans on selling for the next 5 years. It's their most popular vehicle that they sell. Will it still be their most popular vehicle in 5 years' time when literally nobody is wanting to buy gasoline-powered vehicles? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, let me know what your thoughts are on that. Now, the issue is here. Honda do not currently have any at all electric production facilities that they personally own. Aside from a very, very minimal amount of production capacity for an electric car that they sell pretty much only in Japan and in some countries in Europe, but in very, very small numbers, the company simply isn't in position at all to capitalize on the greatest disruption in automotive history. Honda says this new car, this new Accord will have a mid-life facelift in 2026 in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. But the thing is, right, Honda, their sales in the United States are down 40% this year. And frankly, this really has nothing to do with the coronavirus whatsoever. That's all come and gone. The reality is the demand for Honda's vehicles in the US is lower than it has been in decades. Honda's sales in the US have been a net negative every single month of the year compared to every single month of last year. In some months, they've been down 50%. May, 158,000 sales last year, 69,000 this year. I mean, it was a similar statistical story for more than half the months of this year. Honda, my friends, is in serious trouble. Now, although that $34 billion in debt doesn't look that bad right now, it's actually pretty bad when you consider the fact that Honda is relying on who? It's relying on General Motors to make EVs for it in the US completely. It doesn't have any real plans for production of EVs in the United States, at least for the next 4 years. What about in China? Its second biggest market in the world. Well, same story there. It doesn't make its electric cars in China. It doesn't have any big plans to make EVs for itself in China. And it's going to rely on companies like GAC, who eventually are going to go, well, you know what? We're selling so many EVs now. They are. GAC is selling more than 30,000 electric cars per month. Why do we need Honda? What is the point of making EVs for Honda? And what do you think Chinese consumers are going to do? Chinese consumers eventually will say, you know what? Why would we pay more for a Honda EV than we would for a GAC EV? And the reality is the only way Honda can sell these at a profit, the vehicles that they're getting from General Motors in the US and the vehicles that they're getting from GAC in China, is by simply adding margin on top of what GM make, on top of what GM sell the car to them for, on top of what GAC will sell to the car to them for in China. Honda has essentially just become a middleman, adding cream on top. Now, surely consumers are going to work this out. Surely consumers are not stupid. They're not going to say, we're not going to pay 20% more for a vehicle which is exactly the same, just has a Honda badge and maybe some different bodywork. The reality is eventually consumers will figure this out, as they have always done. This has happened with other brands in the past. Eventually consumers are like, you know what? Why would I buy a Mercedes pickup truck, right? Mercedes, they just ended their pickup truck. What did they do? Mercedes took a Nissan Navara, right? You guys in the US might not know this because they did this for, I don't believe they sold this in the United States, but they did this in Australia and a number of other countries. Mercedes took a Nissan Navara pickup truck and they just turned it into a Mercedes. They put some new body panels on it. They tried to charge 30% more so that they could make a profit. Guess what? It was a massive flop. That is basically what Honda will have to do. They don't have any real choice other than to do that. Now, Honda have said in the first half of this year, they've made some pretty good money, which is actually true. And you're probably thinking, oh, this is strange. I mean, they're making good money. How is that happening? Well, one big reason is the depreciation of the yen and the appreciation of the United States dollar. That's actually led to Japanese automobile companies making a pretty much once-off big gain in sales as a result of manufacturing cars or getting a lot of the parts from other countries outside of the US and then selling these vehicles in the US. They still make a pretty good profit on those cars. But how long will that last for? And here's the thing. Although sales decreased massively in North America, sales revenue experienced a year-on-year increase due to favorable currency effects. Honda themselves said. They said that, right? But automobile unit operating profit fell 45.7% to its lowest point in 5 years. Now, it's its lowest point in 5 years, and we're just on the verge of the greatest transformation in automotive history. Two of the biggest markets they sell in, right? China and the United States. What are they doing? We're seeing unprecedented investment into electric cars. We're seeing people want EVs. We're seeing people beginning to say, you know what? EVs are the future. I want to be part of the future. I don't want a massively depreciating asset, which is what's happened in Norway. The price of EVs in Norway right now, it's higher for a used model than it is for a new one. The price of gasoline-powered cars, completely different story. My advice to anyone watching this channel, if you're in the US or China or anywhere else in the world, don't buy a gasoline-powered Honda, because when it comes time to sell it in a few years, it's going to be worth a fraction of what you paid. Now let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.